Lord of Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril and Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor. It is Sunday, October 12th. The last couple of weeks, I've been reading a book by the former Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, where he talks about the passions in the Philokalia and more broadly in the Greek monastic tradition. This morning, I read his chapter on self-esteem, which is a passion which is often greatly misunderstood, in large part because of the influence of humanistic psychology in the American context, especially among American Christians. In the context of humanistic psychology, self-esteem is fundamentally a good thing. It means that I have the confidence to be able to shape my life both according to my own internal desires, but also in response to circumstances and according to my own most deeply held values. There are things that we can criticize about that, but that fundamentally in humanistic tradition, self-esteem is a positive thing. For the Greek fathers, the Greek monastic tradition, however, self-esteem is really something quite different. It is the need, the compulsion, really, William says, to be special. He quotes St. John Cassian as saying that if I am not able to dress in the finest of clothes, and so bring attention to myself in that way, I will dress in the shabbiest of clothes, and so bring attention to myself in this other way. Underneath self-esteem is the conviction that life is a zero-sum game, William says. That if someone is honored, then somehow I've lost out because of that. And yet in the Christian tradition, a tradition which is not zero-sum, the idea that one person is honored is not something that is taken away from everyone else. Rather, that this person is blessed by God in particular ways, is meant for the encouragement, the uplifting, the support of the whole of the body. But again, to the person captured by self-esteem, this is not possible. What you have, self-esteem says, you obviously took from me. Within the life of the church, we have to be always on guard against self-esteem, as well as in our spiritual lives. Unfortunately, what often happens is that people come to us out of a sense of self-esteem, out of the conviction, out of the false belief that based on their own studies, they are able to adjudicate theological differences that are hundreds and really 1,000 years old. And they come and they say, I've read everything that I could find, and I've decided the Orthodox Church is the true church. And often what we say is, well, how wonderful, you have discovered the truth, not really realizing that what motivates that is more often than not is self-esteem. The idea that somehow on my own, I have sufficient ability to adjudicate, to discern theological differences that have confounded not only theologians, but saints for a millennium. Instead of self-esteem, what we should have is a spirit of humble gratitude for the gifts that God has given, not only us individually, but the people around us. That's why, for example, I began by telling you that I'm reading a book by the former Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams. If I am really faithful to the gospel, then I recognize the outpouring of grace wherever it is. I see in Williams' book something which is of benefit to me as an Orthodox Christian, and I lose nothing by acknowledging that. In fact, Williams sustains me. He supports me as an Orthodox Christian. He supports and helps sustain my ministry as a priest and a spiritual father. This is what I mean by humble gratitude, to be able to see the gifts that God pours out in other people, and not to be so concerned about being special myself. Well, if you want to learn a little bit more about self-esteem and humble gratitude, maybe come to St. Cyril and Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church this morning for liturgy at 9:30. We're located at 1020 Regent Street in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. If you're not in the Madison area, maybe try to find an Orthodox church where you are. But whatever you do this morning, wherever you do it, may God bless you. May he cause the light of his countenance to shine upon you, and may he always be gracious to you. All right. Look forward to talking to you again next week. Take care. God bless you, and have a very good rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.